episode. Gas Network presents Sports for the Culture.
I'm here with the family.
Bryce, XXV, Double I,
Rome,
D-Malo,
Gruff Lion.
T-Buggy, man.
Just the greatest sports show on the planet. La Familia. Hope y'all ready for a ride.
Can't wait to hear what you guys got to say.
Hey, welcome to another edition of Gas Presents Sports for the Culture. I am tonight's host, your boy Young Rome 22 on all social media platforms. That includes Threads, Twitter, X, whatever it's called now. Follow me on all them Jones. Follow Gas Sports on all of them. And we got a great show for you guys tonight. A lot to get into. So I'm gonna let the fellas introduce themselves real quick, and then we'll start breaking it down. I'm gonna start with the top right.
Oh, T-Buggy, man, y'all know what it is. Yeah, I don't know what these social media is on, man. I'm just on the app formerly known as Twitter, and you can find me. But Gas Sports, Gas Elite AU coach, wash your ass. Hey, let's have a good show, fella.
Yeah, man. As the world changes, so does social media, man. The Twitter bird is no more, man. We might have to get into that one too. But at top left, introduce yourself.
At Bryce, XXV, Double I, a.k.a. Mr. Big Leaguer. Yeah, man, it's a lot of change going on, I don't know what Elon was thinking with that. I like the Twitter bird. Free the bird.
Yeah, man. I saw the X as the logo for the first time today. I logged on for my background here, and instead of the Twitter bird, it was the X logo. So I mean, I guess it's official, man. We didn't seen the bird for the last time. But as we do here on Sports for the Culture, we talk sports, we mix it in with culture. And before we get too much into the Twitter sphere and all that social media talk, there was some serious news to talk about with Bronny. LeBron James' son actually went into cardiac arrest during a workout. So obviously, we just want to give our thoughts to them, and hopefully everything is going well. Last I read, he was pulling through. So fellas, what are your thoughts on that? And T, you're a basketball coach yourself. Me and you both have kids. We talk about that all the time. So I'll start with you.
I mean, first of all, thoughts and prayers, man. That's scary, man. That's probably one of the scariest things a parent's ever going to encounter. But yeah, like as a coach, as a dad, as a parent, like you can't even put into words just how you would feel going through that. Like that's a world shifter right there. That's a perspective shifter. Bronny's been playing basketball his whole life. Bron's been playing basketball his whole life. But that right there is bigger than basketball. And hopefully we see a full recovery and see Bronny back on the court. But it made me really think. I was just at practice on Monday, and I had a kid. He hit the ground a couple times, and I'm telling him, no, get up, keep playing, man. Tough it out.
Yeah.
And eventually, we also we're playing against a girls team. What I'm saying for context. But eventually, he's running down the court. And he's like, Coach, I need a sub. I can't breathe. So I set him out, and I'm like, what if I push that kid hard, or what, if there was a freak accident, or he had some heart issue I didn't know about. It's just scary, man. It's just so random. But like I said, man, thoughts and prayers to the whole James family. Bronny, get well, bro.
Yeah, definitely, man. I've coached football. Your son plays football. We just saw what happened to Damar Hamlin this past football season as we begin this next one. And like you said, man, it's not something that as coaches or athletes that we think about too often. But when you see something like that happen, man, like you said, it's bigger than the game itself. So yes, thoughts and prayers definitely with them. Bryce, I'm gonna let you chime in.
Yeah, man, it was crazy to hear, man, because that Bronny's a top tier athlete. He's well conditioned. He's putting the work in. So it makes you think it had to have been something underlying, right? Which in itself is scary because you just never know what it could be, and you never know who could have something underlying, right? And it's a scary situation all around. As both of you said, thoughts and prayers to the James family. Right now, basketball comes last, right? What comes first is making sure Bronny is good to go. And I pray he has no lasting effects from this. 'Cause like I said, man, basketball is just a sport, but your health is truly what matters. So thoughts and prayers to the whole family, and I wish speedy recovery for Bronny.
Yes, most definitely, man. And let's shift gears a little bit here from a less somber topic. We don't talk too much soccer. We normally talk a little American football, but let's talk a little football real quick. Because one of the biggest trends in sports right now is Messi, man. He's come to the MLS, and he's it's in my opinion, it's looking like he left the varsity league to go down to the freshman league, and he's killing it. 2 goals tonight. I think you said he had the game winning goal in his first game. So what are y'all quick thoughts on him coming to this league, and was it worth his time? I know it's worth the bag, but like, do you think it's any real competition, or is he just gonna go crazy?
Yeah, every single European player that comes here goes crazy. At least every legit one. There's been a couple before Messi. Most recently, Wayne Rooney went stupid on the DC United. Wayne Rooney went so crazy they asked that man to be the head coach. That's how you know you
Mhm.
went crazy. They look at you like, bro, just come coach the team, bro. But shout out to Messi because a game-winning goal in your first game, and I believe he got subbed in late, and to just come in and hit a game-winning goal is crazy. But yo, that remember that point I was making a couple weeks ago about how sports is just different in Europe. It's taken as a real job in Europe, like your real path from a young age. Guess what? Your boy Messi never went to college to study football. All right, all he did was football from age 7. You know what I mean? So it breeds a different kind of athlete, and it makes you think. It leads me to think like, bruh, why do we have no good soccer players, bruh? Why are we that? And not that we're trash, like we are nice, we're good enough, but like, why is it that just a Messi just comes in and dominates instantly, or Ibrahimovic, whatever his name is, comes in and dominates instantly. Wayne Rooney comes in and dominates instantly. Um, and I really do think it's because of the program that they have over there. I've heard people say it's because like why would you play soccer if you're from America? The best athletes are going to play basketball. The best athletes are going to play football. Nah, I don't think that's the case. I think the tallest athletes are going to play basketball. Maybe the strongest athletes will play football. But in the day, athletes are following their passion, bro. And we just don't have those programs. I just think we're behind. We're behind the 8 ball when it comes to certain sports, and this is clearly one of them. And I don't think we ever gonna catch up. Shout out to Messi coming in dominating in US, man. Let's get it. Let's get our soccer game up, man. Because you see they offering 700 million for one season to Mbappe. So let's get our soccer game up, US. Let's see what we can do.
Hey, and to put this in perspective, Messi's got 3 goals in 2 matches with Miami. It took him 19 matches to get the 3 goals with Barcelona. So he's kind of making a mockery of the league, if you ask me. But T, go ahead and jump in.
Yeah, man. This is cool. I'm not crazy impressed. We know what Messi is. We know what this league is. It's like me going to the local rec center, man. Like, you know, it was inevitable. He Messi is one of the greatest ever. This is literally like taking an NBA player and saying, "Go play summer league," like
Yeah.
a starter. You know what I'm saying? Hall of Fame talent. Putting LeBron in summer league, he probably averaged 20, 20, and 20. You know, um, I'm not too impressed, but I think it's cool. You know what I'm saying? I think uh, it should be inspirational to the younger soccer players, the young soccer fans, to see a Miami team field a star, because that's kind of what drives more stars is young kids looking up to the bigger stars, and we see that in football, we see that in basketball. So soccer kind of needs that jolt in the arm, and that's probably why you see them going to get a David Beckham or Wayne Rooney. Or, you know what I'm saying? That's why they're paying this money to get the eyes on the sport. You get the eyes on the sport, you get the kids in the stands, you get the kids watching, and next thing you know, you have the stars. So I like it for that reason, but just for the X's and O's of it, the pure sport of it, he's doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, no, I agree with your point completely, T. From a league organization standpoint, That's what the MLS needs, man. They need the star power. I believe there were stars at his first game. Then LeBron and I believe some other celebrities showed up. Wasn't Kim Kardashian and everybody was there. So I mean, that's what they're looking for. They want eyes on the product, and that's what they're getting. I mean, we don't talk too much about soccer on Sports for the Culture. Messi got soccer on Sports for the Culture, so that tells you all you need to know right there. But let's keep it pushing from football and get to some American football, my personal favorite sport. We got some a lot of NFL news to dive into. But first and foremost, it is a great day, great week, great month, great time to be a Washington Commanders fan. Um, Dan Snyder, man, sayonara. That man is gone. I never thought I'd see the day. It has finally come. The Josh Harris group is officially in. Dan Snyder is officially out. Bryce, you know I got to start with you, fellow Commanders fan. Um, I know your thoughts, but go ahead and say them anyway.
Hey, look, bro, I threw the hat on today, man. This hat is only and for the past 4 years since we became Washington football team. This hat was only reserved for Washington football team games. I never wore this hat out anywhere else except the few times I went to a game, man. Because I refuse to support that man Daniel Snyder anywhere but in that stadium. And it's finally over, man. His reign is finally over. 20 plus year reign of mediocrity at best. As an owner, you don't get me wrong, we had a couple little flirts with, being a playoff team here and there, but nothing was ever sustained. And it could all be traced back to the culture that was created by Snyder. And now we have hope. If there's anything, we've always had hope for some odd reason as Skins fans. But now we have true hope. And it's almost like one of those moments where it doesn't really matter how bad it is after this because we've seen the worst. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if it can get any worse than what we endured. But if it feels good to know that, our football coach is being asked questions about football now. That's a good feeling. I listened to Ron Rivera's press conference earlier, and every question was about football. I'm like, damn, like, I can't remember the last time that was the case. So hopefully Josh Harris group does the right things, puts the right people in place, and has the right ideologies to have a successful team. He's had multiple teams before. He's been pretty successful in hockey. The New Jersey Devils, I follow hockey a bit, and New Jersey Devils were a bottom feeder for a while. Unfortunately, they are in the same conference as the Caps, but they were a bottom feeder for a minute, and now they're one of the top scoring teams in the NHL. We know how Philly was when Harris took them over. They were a bottom dweller at that time. And then all of a sudden they brought the process along, and they figured out a way to become one of the better teams over the last few seasons in the NBA. So I think he has a clear blueprint, and I'm sure he'll stick to the same blueprint with the Commanders. Question now is, does he keep the name? Does he change the name? I'm hearing rumblings he's not feeling Commanders, but hey, bro, it's your team now. Do whatever you feel like it, man. As long as it starts with Washington, I'm a root for him. And that's pretty much how I feel about it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's a lot to get into, a lot to digest. Good thing we got a Commanders podcast out there, so there'll be more in depth into it. To keep it plain and simple, man. Anybody but Snyder, right? Like we could talk about Harris and what he's going to do, what he could potentially do, what he's done with other teams. But I just want to say Dan Snyder was a real piece of shit. He was a bad guy to bad people. Like everybody knows, we've talked the 32 owners in NFL. They're not the greatest of people. Everybody knows that. He was stealing from them. You know what I mean? Like he's the scum of the earth, the salt of the earth. Like, and I'm just glad that the team that I root for is no longer owned and controlled by a short idiot. But T, go ahead and jump in
Yeah,
and
why
give
you
us
had to
your
throw,
thoughts.
why you had to throw my man being short in there, dog? That's vicious.
Oh, because some of that was short man syndrome. Some of the way he was acting was definitely short man syndrome. But T, I know you're not the biggest Commanders fan. You're normally pretty critical of us, but I don't see how you can be critical of this one. So go ahead and jump in.
No, I'm not critical of this one. This is the right move, man. Uh, you know, my family, I'm from the area, so my family members are the fans. I follow this team. Snyder has cast a shadow over this organization since day one. With knocking down Landover Mall, but keeping the J.C. Penney's there. You know what I'm saying? Could get J.C. Penney out of there, so you ruin the mall. Couldn't use it as a parking lot. Has done nothing with Six Flags. Six Flags, you know what I'm saying, in this area used to be one of those spots, one of those where the kids wanted to go, man, the families wanted to go. Now the season pass is pretty worthless. So pretty much everything he's touched in this area, he's torn it down. He's torn it down, and amazingly, he's made billions by doing it. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. It just goes to show you, man, that you know, sometimes doing the wrong thing can profit you a lot of money. But I'm glad he's out of there. I'm tired of the excuses for bad football. Daniel Snyder didn't miss any damn tackles. Daniel Snyder didn't throw any interceptions. He didn't fumble the
He
ball.
did. He did. He did.
He didn't. He didn't suit up. He didn't put them pads on. He might have picked bad personnel and things like that. But, you know, that's going to have to stop for this team to turn it around. And maybe this new group can come in. But they still got guys from the old group. Riverboat Ron. Like, the fans are optimistic. They're happy. I'm not going to rain their parade, but I'm going to need to see plenty more changes from the org before I say, you know what I'm saying, it's time to celebrate. But I'm glad Dan's out, and Magic Johnson seems to be dancing the go-go, things like that. This stuff, this the stuff that get spirit high, you know. So I do like that. I feel like the city's better when the team's winning, when the team's going in a positive direction, less crime. You know, everybody's doing the same thing on Sunday. I wanted to work out, man. Hopefully the Redskins, you know, Commanders, Washington football team, whatever you want to call them, hopefully they win the NFC East. I'm rooting for the guys.
Well, it's like you were saying, man. Like it's still to be determined what could happen, right? Like Ron, the team in and of itself is another discussion what they'll do this year. But as far as you know, the organization, you're hitting the nail on the head, right? Like people see Magic Johnson out there dancing. First of all, everybody loves Magic, right? Even if you weren't a Commanders fan, there's a lot of Magic Johnson fans out there just in general. So to see him come embrace the city, dancing the go-go, Josh Harris buying beers for fans, stuff like that. Like they're really, you know, doing it right so far. And like we've said, it would have been hard to mess up because you're following a real piece of work. So it's only up from here.
Hey, look, Ron, we lived through it, man. And like the great Kanye West once said, you can live through anything if Magic made it. All right, and that's how I've been feeling ever since we got Magic, man. We made it through this era, bro. It was a rough time. It was a rough time, but it should be brighter times ahead, man. And we'll see. To T's point about Riverboat Ron, I don't think Riverboat is the problem, bro. I don't think Riverboat was a problem because he was trying to run an organization and run a football team. That's not what he's qualified to do. He's qualified to coach football players. He's not qualified to answer questions on sexual harassment. All right, and that was the issue. Like that man used to look so stressed. You know how when the president gets out of office, they show their face afterwards, and they be having gray hair. Their face look all old. I want to see Ron's face when he took over the Commanders to now. I'm sure if he put pics together, he looked way older.
To be fair to Ron Rivera, any coach in the Dan Snyder era that started when they started coaching for the Redskins to the time that they finished, whatever their reputation was, it was worse by the time that they left. And you can say that about every last head coach that we've had during Dan Snyder's era. Schottenheimer, not literally any of them. You can name any of them, bro. Like Jay Gruden.
And on the flip side of that, every single coach that wasn't a head coach leave and become that dude. And that should tell you something too. Hey, offensive coordinator, matter of fact, you should thank us while you at it, all right? Because you got an offensive coordinator up out of us. How about the Rams? Yeah, they got an offensive coordinator up out of us. Oh, how about the Falcons? Oh, yeah, they got a head coach, offensive coordinator up out of us. Oh, how about the Packers? They got a head coach, offensive coordinator up out of us. Like, bro, we was gifted in the league with all this talent because we didn't even have someone that could recognize when the talent was in their building, man.
Meanwhile, the dudes that we had as head coach are either retired or can't get a job. You know what I mean? Like
Raheem Morris got, was he like a is he something, ain't he?
I think he was a coordinator now. after he left us. He definitely went up after he left us.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy, bro. Like the amount of talent we've had in that building, especially from like an assistant coaching standpoint, it doesn't even make no sense, bro. But it just goes to show you, man, when you run poorly, you get poor results, man. I know we've all worked for an organization where the leadership just wasn't it, bro. It really does hit every single member of that organization. It's a trickle down effect. Everything has a trickle down effect, but most definitely in business. And even if you're the owner of a restaurant and you don't give a damn, you really think your cook or your busboy gonna give a damn? Nah, they not, bro. They gonna be making that sloppy ass food, or they gonna be barely wiping down the tables, and that's pretty much the kind of performances we got. And the people that really did want to work hard, they got casted out because people looking around them like, man, what are you doing? This is a gravy train. Why are you in here working hard? Yo, nobody works hard here. What are you thinking? You know what I'm saying? So you had to get them hard workers up out of here instantly. And that's what I've seen from the Commanders, bro. And I've actually been in organizations like that where you working hard as hell. They looking at you like, bro, you working way too hard in here. Like, you know what I mean? Just don't be, man. But yeah, hopefully we turn the page.
I mean, you mentioned a good word, business, man, right? And I thought about it when I saw they sold the team for $6 million. So that's a crazy number because to come in at $6 million means you think the team will eventually be worth more. I mean, $6 billion.
Yeah.
The team will be worth more than $6 billion, and because it's a group, you would probably need substantially more for everybody to be happy, which just means that at least this group believes that football is still expanding, which is crazy. It could very well be true, but it's crazy to think that these franchises can eventually be worth 10 billion, 15 billion, 20 billion.
Well, well, T, to be fair, what you mentioned in the beginning, I think is part of the reason the group was on board with buying it for $6 billion is because they recognized what they could do with the area. They recognized, like you said, there was a shadow cast by Dan Snyder, and once that shadow is completely gone, once everybody can see the sun shining bright, from I'm in Virginia, y'all are in Maryland. From y'all to me will be Commanders country. Like people will be hyped, excited about the team, about what's going on, and I mean that's covering a lot of area. That's covering a lot of area. And I think they realize that they can make a bag. They can make a big bag. You could have a new stadium, preferably in DC, but you can still do things in Maryland, do things in Virginia. Like the money that they can and probably will make is potentially limitless. Like
They're gonna
especially
double up.
if they get the team right, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was about to say if they get the team right, they'll double that up with no problem.
Yeah, they'll double it. Matter of fact, they'll double up in about 10 years, bro. I mean, a NFL franchise is about the safest bet you can make as a billionaire. It might be the safest bet you can make as a billionaire. You buy it for what did Dan Snyder bought the team for? 300, 400 million?
Less than a billion, yeah.
Yeah, like 300, 400 million. And now he's up to 6 Bs. Like, yeah, you almost guaranteed to double up, possibly triple up in a matter of 10 years. And it doesn't even, unless, if I'm being honest, right? If Dan Snyder would have held the team for 10 more years, no matter how good or bad they would have done, he probably would have doubled up. You know what I'm saying? He really T said that Dan Snyder never fumbled no footballs. I don't know, bro. He might be the ultimate bag fumbler in the history of sports because, like, you had a gold mine, bro. You didn't even have to do shit. All you had to do was just sit there and make money. But he couldn't even do that, bro. Like, it's literally NFL franchise is literally a gold mine. The revenue sharing makes sure of that. You know what I'm saying? As long as you get into the club, you good to go. But you know, when you a guy that just can't help but twiddle your thumbs and can't help but meddle in the stuff that you shouldn't be, to Rome's point, man, I hate talking about people I don't actually know, bro. I hate talking about the character of people I don't truly know. But I think it's safe to say that Dan Snyder was a piece of shit, bro. I think it's pretty safe to say, bro. Like, you know, I always tell this one story, man, because I heard it on the radio, and it was a guy that called into the radio, right? And the dude said that he lived in the area, and his son and Snyder's son were friends. Maybe it was his daughter and Snyder's daughter. I can't remember that part. But they were friends, right? And one day,
I've
dude
heard
goes to
this.
Snyder's crib, bruh, to drop his son off because they about to have a play date, yo. He goes up to Snyder. He says, "Hey Dan, thanks for watching the kids for a little bit." And Dan Snyder looks at this. Hey Dan, thanks for watching the kids. Dan Snyder looks at him and says, "Hey buddy, Mr. Snyder to you." Like, it's Mr. Snyder. Like, what you mean it's Mr. Snyder, bruh?
Hey,
My kids and your kids is the same age. I'm a grown man. You a grown man, and you want to be referred to as Mr. Snyder? Like, bruh,
hey, that's that short man syndrome, bruh. That's that short
bruh,
man syndrome.
what world you living on? And then one more thing about Dan Snyder, just to speak to how he's a piece of shit. Dan Snyder made his money, right, doing essentially what could be considered a telemarketing scheme that is now illegal. It's now illegal, bro. You literally, what he was doing to make all his money, you literally cannot do it anymore, bro. Now, I can't remember all the particulars, bro. You know the good mister, usually sharp with the facts, but this is so long ago. I can't remember all the facts with this. But it's literally a scheme, in lack of a better word, a telemarketing scheme that you're no longer allowed to do, bro. It's been outlawed by the U.S. government. That should tell you all you need to know, bro. Like, your man is wild, bro. He's wild dude, man. But and okay, one more thing. If you got to leave America after selling your business, you know something ain't right. He's about to relocate his family to
Yeah, no,
England,
that's
bro.
crazy.
He like, yo, I got to get the hell up out of here, bro. Like, imagine owning something as big as a sports team in the city, and you can't pop up in the grocery store. You can't pop up at the gas station. Imagine if you saw Dan Snyder at the grocery store. Imagine what people gonna say to him, dog. Like, they gonna disrespect that man, bro. Just
They're
like,
not. They're not gonna call him. They're not gonna call him Mr. Snyder. I know that.
that man can't show his face in no public setting anywhere, bro. That's got to be a horrible life. So, he carved out a horrible life for himself now. He can't come back to where he's from. Somebody jokingly on the radio. Somebody jokingly on the radio said, "Do you think will they put Dan Snyder in the Ring of Fame?" I'm like, dog, come on, bro. Man, not going in the Ring of Fame. If you're an owner and you don't go in your own team's Ring of Fame when you hang it up, when it's all said and done, that should tell you all you need to know, bro. Like, you're just a piece of shit, man. And I hate calling people I don't know pieces of shit. I never do that. You'll never really hear me talk about you'll never hear me talk about the character of somebody I don't know, bro.
That's how you know Dan Snyder's crazy, bro.
He's a piece of shit, man. The dude a piece of shit, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah. Nah, man. So good riddance, bro. We about to move on from Dan Snyder once and for all. This will be the last time we ever have to talk about that man. So
hey, bro, you couldn't even get hot chicken tenders at FedEx Field, bro. They not even giving you, hey, bro, come on, bro. Like, hey, dog, the glizzies was like $12 glizzies, bro.
crazy. Crazy, bro. $12 glizzies washing it down with a $20 beer, bro.
50 cents for a mustard pack. I made that part up. But it wouldn't have surprised me, though. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have surprised me, bro. Your man vicious, bro. Your man is vicious.
Nah, that's crazy though. But yeah, man, let's move on to another topic. Let's talk about. I don't know if y'all seen this one in the news yet or not, but running back. I forget his first name, man. My man Himes was on the jet skis. Naheem. I was about to say Nicholas. I don't know where I got Nicholas, but Naheem Himes was on the jet ski and actually got a pretty serious injury, nothing life threatening, but he will miss the entirety of the NFL season. And I bring this up to say, like, obviously players should be able to live their own life in their downtime, but when you are under contract to a major organization, what are the limits? Are there limits? Should there be limits on what you do? How dangerous it is? Should this type of language be in a contract? No bungee jumping, no parachuting, no jet skiing. So what are y'all's thoughts on this? I'm gonna start with you, Bryce, because I know you have a power to the players movement. So I'm very interested to hear your thoughts on this one.
You know what, Rome? I might be with you with that, man. I think, I might be with you with that working into the contract that you can't jet ski, you can't bungee jump, You can't, hop on a trampoline. If Nyheim Hines wasn't a running back, all right, because they don't give running backs no protection as is, okay? They're not trying to pay them. They're not trying to help them. They're not trying to do nothing right by running backs. So I think if you're a running back, you should be able to do whatever the hell you want because your time is limited anyway. Let them live life on the edge, bro, until they start protecting them in those contracts. I don't want them to protect them outside of the football field, all right? I hate that. That's a double-edged sword, bro. Oh, so I can't get my bag, and I also can't go jet skiing? Now, when I first heard the story, and then again, man, I'm wilding today because I'm doing a lot of speculating today about people I don't know. But this made me think about that one story that came out a few years ago where dude was like, said he got hurt doing one thing, and then it came out it was something else, you know what I mean? Like, because like I'm just saying, if I crashed a jet ski into somebody and I hurt myself, you best believe I'm telling the team that somebody crashed into me. I ain't about to sit here and admit culpability. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to do that. Nah. We're not about to avoid that contract. This was all an accident. It wasn't my fault at all. So I do hope there's no video evidence in all of this. You know what I'm saying? My man Nyheim could get away with this one if he's not being honest. But I have no reason to believe he wouldn't be. It's also, bruh, I've seen that happen before. Jet skis are uncontrollable if someone doesn't know what they're doing. So I could really see someone just sitting there chilling on a jet ski, and all of a sudden they just get hit by another jet ski and have no clue what's coming. They didn't brace for it at all, and now he's out for the season. Very unfortunate series of events. But if he was a quarterback, a wide receiver, hell, an offensive guard, you know what I'm saying? I'd have sympathy for the team. But for a running back, I've got no sympathy because the team's got no sympathy for the running backs. But yeah, man, terrible situation, bro. And I do like Nyheim Hines as a player. I actually think he's a dog for real. Underrated running back. Did great work for the Colts. So hopefully it turns out for the best, man. He's able to get back as soon as possible.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's an underrated running back as well. And you touched on some things that we'll get into here in a second. But T, go ahead and jump in, man. What are your thoughts on players jet skiing in the offseason?
I mean, it's probably not smart, but at the end of the day, you got to live your life. Maybe they could figure out how to work it in the contract based on, like, all right, after 3 years, 2 years, now you can jet ski or motorcycle. Like,
you gotta put in 2 years of service to jet ski.
Yeah, bro.
That's funny.
If you want to take the risk is on you, but we'll compensate you for that risk after you've put it in work. Or, based on your contract, if you got, you made $1 million, you free like that, we'll get you a percentage of your contract. Maybe it's already, but to void the contract is crazy. But that's rough, man, because athlete, you need your body, and typically all parts of your body. So, I mean, that's like if I have a typing job and I lose fingers, I break my hand for 8 months, you know what I'm saying? All I got is a disability. And NFL probably has some version of that, but nah, you can't really. I don't know. It's tough, man. It's tough because you got to sacrifice the things you want to do for what you want.
Yeah.
And that's really life, but like you're already pro. So I don't know, man. I've seen some pro athletes crazy things, ride 4-wheelers, all sorts of stuff. So I don't know, bro. These guys are type A's, they're risk takers, they're going to take these risks. That should be another topic in the CBA when they're talking about money for the running back. They should be trying to cover themselves so that they are able to do some of these things. You know what I'm saying?
But you can't live in a bubble. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw a video. Yeah. I saw a video a couple weeks ago of Jalen Ramsey hooping. He was cooking. Jalen Ramsey's out there dunking on everybody. I'm like, damn, Jalen Ramsey a dog. But like, is he not supposed to be able to go run fives with the homies, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like
fives is one thing, bro. That jet ski don't got no break. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know. Running fives might be more dangerous than a jet ski, low key. Bro.
Well, I mean, it's unpredictable. You know what I mean? Like you land wrong, and the reason I would say work it into the contract is like because I think that they should be allowed to do whatever the hell they want. Like I think it's crazy to be like, yo, I trust you to carry the ball on 3rd and goal for the game winning touchdown, but don't you jet ski in the middle of May when you ain't got shit to do with me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. Like don't ask me to put my body on the line in December and then tell me I can't go hoop with the homies in June. So I think that's ridiculous. But I do think there should be like his injury happening so close to the season. I would say like maybe July, you would say, like when there's team activities coming up, like maybe you got to reel it in, maybe put like a time period. Nothing crazy during the season, obviously. But I think to try to outlaw what somebody's doing, like period, is crazy. Plus, like my experience in life tells me that if you tell somebody, hey, you cannot do this one certain thing, they're gonna do that certain thing. Like they're gonna find a way to do that certain thing. So slippery slope.
No, that's a good point, man. If you put emphasis on people not to do it, it's gonna feel that much better for them to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be that much high. You just seeing all these guys get busted for gambling, like, and they know,
Right.
like, so you make a good point, and you can't live in a bubble. Can't live in a bubble, but at the same, there are things that have higher risk, right? We know we shouldn't be doing. So, like going on the sub, you know what I'm saying, to see the Titanic. That's probably shouldn't do that if you care
But
about.
like, but the problem with it too though is like some things have risk based on your experience. Like for example, bro, if you ain't never roller skating is gonna be dangerous as shit for someone that's never roller skated. So what are you supposed to be able to be like, yo? If you've never roller skated, you can't roller skate. Like, it's like how do you quantify this in contracts? Because like that's where like it's certain things like that where it's like, yo, if you grew up riding dirt bikes, riding a dirt bike is not dangerous at all for you. Where roller skating might be 10 times more dangerous than you ride a dirt bike.
I'll say that. I'll say this: that some of the things that they don't want players doing, and that's actually in the contracts for some of these athletes that they can't do, are things that when they go wrong, they go wrong badly. A motorcycle accident, when it goes wrong,
Yeah.
Typically a decent amount of recovery time. If your bungee jumping goes wrong, typically you know what I'm saying, you might not have no recovery time. You might be gone.
Yeah.
Certain extreme activities, roller skating, when it goes wrong, it doesn't always have this long recovery. You might get a bang, a bruise. I just went skating over the weekend, man. I seen somebody fall 3 times trying to make it 30 feet. All hard falls.
I see somebody dislocate the ankle rollerblading one time. All right, so oh no, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's really the stuff that the injuries or the miscues can be catastrophic more often than not. And I don't think roller skating is catastrophic more often than not. You know what I'm saying? So, but everything.
Yeah, there's not a high risk for a catastrophic injury in roller skating or playing a pickup game, but it would be tragic, like if Pat Mahomes tore a ligament playing 3-on-3 basketball at the gym, you know what I'm saying, like, and he's got a $500 million contract, like, so it's definitely a slippery slope, right? Because you can't tell people what not to do, but then you got, as the athlete yourself, you got to be smart.
If you heard,
because your body is your moneymaker.
If you heard Patrick Mahomes or his ACL hooping, you're just gonna be like, "Dang, man, I wish he wasn't out there. He probably shouldn't have been out there." If you heard Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL trying to do a 900 off a half pipe on a snowboard, you're gonna be like, "Bruh." Like,
I mean, maybe he's a passionate snowboarder. I don't know.
Like, man, jet skis, bruh. Then Sean Kingston almost died in a jet ski one time.
Yeah, he did.
Or them
jet skis I feel like they're fun and people see them all the time and they don't realize how it's like a motorcycle on water almost. Like, I feel like people underestimate how dangerous a jet ski can actually be.
But even a motorcycle has a brake. You know what I'm saying? Anything that can go forward fast that doesn't have a brake, it's probably dangerous. You know what I'm saying? You can't stop the joint.
No, jet ski's got some sort of brake, right? They got a little.
No,
I think you just slow down. I think you just slow down.
Ain't no break. What would the break be? Reverse,
Yeah, there's no, yeah.
Yeah.
buddy.
I don't know, man. I feel like I mean I've ridden jet skis plenty of times. I always feel like there's a way to slow down. I guess the way to slow down is to stop hitting the gas.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
maybe. No, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But the last jet ski I rode last summer, nah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like it's a slippery slope, bro. Because you can really. What's my man? Plaxico Bird shot himself, bro, in the club, bro. Well, no guns, no guns for
Yeah,
players. You know what I'm saying? Like what's the? Because if you got a gun, we know what the worst thing that can happen with that is, right? So it's like I don't know, man. Slippery slope. I feel like people got to be able to live their lives regardless of what their profession is. It's just like, how do you quantify these things, yo? Because, like, yo, we do hear about this type shit a lot. We do hear about players getting injured doing random things. I think a couple years ago with the Washington football team, Ryan Fitzpatrick was allegedly got hurt on a water slide or something crazy.
don't tell him that.
Yeah, apparently he ain't want nobody to know about that. But
He's not trying to get that voided contract. They probably owed him some
right.
money. Like,
but it's like, well, you can't go on a water slide, dog. Like, oh, that's crazy.
not drunk.
Oh, he was drunk. I ain't know
Nah,
about
I'm just playing, yo. I love you, Ryan Fitzpatrick. If you see this, don't come at me. He went crazy on a reporter for asking him that question, bro.
He did. That's how you know it was true.
Yeah, I know.
No matter what you do, bro. The problem is, man, the risk of fraud, man, the risk of a guy saying I got injured and you're not actually injured because you don't want to play. Like you risk some of that, but they got to find a way to pay guys that get injured outside of football because most of these guys put their life on the line when they do play football.
Yeah.
Nah, that's facts, and that was my main thinking of why you can't try to box them in and say, you know what I mean, like what you can and can't do. Because they're already putting their life on the line on the field. You know what I mean? Like you're asking me to go crazy on 4th and goal. In the summertime, I might want to hop on that jet ski.
Bro.
But
what that say?
Go ahead.
Paranoid because his teammate got robbed. If my teammate got robbed, I'm not going out.
He wasn't that paranoid.
I know, right?
He wasn't paranoid enough to stay his ass in the crib.
He wasn't paranoid enough.
Hey yo.
Hey, that Plaxico shit was crazy. You know, he blamed Fabulous for that, right? Like he said he brought the gun to the club because the teammate that got robbed was by like Fabulous. Like, and I'm like, bruh, like that's not even the rapper to act like you're afraid of. Like that's who you're afraid of when you went to the club.
Fabulous is connected to BMF.
He's connected too. So I mean, like, make sure they mention the BMF niggas. Like he was acting like he was worried about Fab himself. Like,
hey, die on our watch. Yeah, like that's just what they telling you. Like, if you're gonna take a catastrophic injury, it's gonna be on our field in front of our staff. Like,
I mean, to be fair, the staff saved DeMar Hamlin. To be fair,
I don't say shit. Like maybe they on something.
I mean, like, if you're gonna die over here. We might save you.
Hey yo, that's wild.
Nah, that's crazy.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. That's unfortunately funny.
Or they could just make guys certified. You know what I'm saying? We are the NFL. We offer jet ski certification. We offer motorcycle certification. We are, you know what I'm saying? Like some of this extreme stuff, you put in some sort of approval for it. They figure out a way to certify you, and then that way you don't.
Yeah, and then at least from there, you know what I'm saying? If an accident happened. That's probably the best way to go about it. But they're not going to want to spend that bread. The players are going to have to come together and fight for something like that.
That's what I'm saying, bro. All this going to come down to what the players are able to do with the CBA. You know, there's a lot of players that don't care none of that. So.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that because that brings me to the next topic, man. Players sticking together and trying to make a change with the league. Because my next topic that I'm gonna bring up is none other than Saquon Barkley and this weak contract. In my opinion, it is a weak contract that he signed. Look, we all know the running back market over the last few years, really the last decade, has completely plummeted. Um, and there's a number of factors. A lot of people point to Le'Veon Bell. Devontae Freeman had a nice little contract that he didn't really live up to. I would say that was a factor that hurts running backs now. But it's not going to change unless a guy like Saquon, who is clearly a top 5, top 3 running back in the league, really digs in and says, pay me more. Now, the thing is with the NFL contracts that you got to understand, whenever anybody is up for a contract and they're at the top in their position, they reset the market. That's any player at any position. So if you're the best punter in the NFL and you're up for a contract, all the punters are going to get a bigger bag moving forward because you're going to reset the market. But when it's time for a running back to get a bag, a running back like Saquon Barkley, where it should not really be questionable that he should be resetting the market, we're doing all this holdout because we gave him all these carries or his injury history, this, that, and the third. And it's like they're disrespecting the running backs, and the running backs are allowing it. That's what I'm starting to not like that I'm seeing from the running backs. A guy like Saquon should have seen this coming, should have been prepared, and should have dug in because I'm not a Giants fan. I'm not that big of a Saquon guy, but I'm telling you now, Matt Breida is not giving you what Saquon Barkley is giving you. Matt Breida isn't making any defensive coordinators lose sleep, and the Giants offense would not be moving the way it will be moving with Saquon if they would have been starting Matt Breida. And if he would have dug his feet in and stayed 10 toes and let that play out, then he would be looking at a $16-17 million contract instead of like what is it, 11 with incentives. So
well, you're right, Ron. Matt Breida not giving you the same thing that Saquon is, but you know who might? Dalvin Cook, and he's a free agent. All right, so I think the league is kind of spoken on this. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate, but I don't think Saquon holding out for any more money was going to do anything, bro. I really don't. I don't think he was going to get that crazy bag he was looking for if he held out. I think it got to the point with him where it was take it or leave it, and my man decided to take it, bro. You got $11 million staring at you in the face. It's hard to turn that down, my boy. It's hard to turn that down, bro. And I've never had that much money staring at me, but I'd imagine I would fold. And I'm just being real, bro. I'm just being real, especially if you're looking at your account and it's only 11 in there. You got 11 in your account and they offering you another 11? What you about to do, man? You not about to double up on your funds?
11. And he on his rookie deal. He ain't no 11 in there.
He probably got more than that. He was a top 5 pick, but I'm just saying, like,
ain't no way.
I mean, I think Saquon was like what, number 2-3 pick overall?
But age,
he got money. He got money, bro. Saquon got money. That's my point. Saquon got money, but like $11 million, bro, for 1 year, dog. You can't turn that down, especially at a position like running back. And there's a little bit of a precedent. We saw what Le'Veon Bell did. He didn't want to stay with the Steelers. That man saying he made the biggest mistake of his life when he did that now. So I get what Saquon is saying. I get what Saquon did. I also understood his position. It did seem like he was poking his chest out a little bit. It did seem like he was going to go against the grain a little bit. But sometimes, bro, you realize the devil you know is better than the one you don't. You know what I'm saying? The evil you know is better than one you don't. And I think that's what Saquon had to weigh out. And he had, in my opinion, unfortunately, he had to take that bread. Like I said last week when we talked about this is a NFL PA problem, not a Saquon Barkley problem. This is not a running backs problem. This is a problem for the union, and they need to get this worked out. They need to get some language in that CBA that protects running backs, because the league is not going to protect a running back. They're going to run him into the ground, and it's going to be over for him. I offered up a couple suggestions. I'm not sure if any of them were right, but like something is right, dog. Something is right, and they got to get to it, whatever the right thing is to do, because like these running backs can't be getting used up and chewed up and spit out the way they are right now. I really hate to see it, bro.
Well, you already mentioned Dalvin Cook, and I mean, I think that's another guy that Even if they didn't, even if Saquon would have held out, I don't think Dalvin Cook is a guy that should just go in there for less than 13, 14 million per year. It's another top five running back that the Vikings just let walk because again, they don't want to pay these guys, even though they're top of the line at their position. But T, go ahead and jump in here.
Yeah, man. Like the running back position is literally like rims on a car, right? Like they make the car better, but you don't need rims to get where you're going, right? Them rims might get you more attention, might bring the value up of your car, but you don't need them. So that's how they treating running backs. Like you guys are a luxury to have, but you're not a necessity. And to get $11 million, no matter how you get it, is a blessing. So I can say no matter how you get it, but
You know what I'm saying? Hold on, big dog. Hold on, big dog.
to get $11 million to play football is a blessing, man. So, but could he have held out? Should he have held out? No, man. Like, bro, if I got to be the face of a movement, who's compensating me for being the face? I stand to lose more than I stand to gain. And maybe 20 years from now, they say, yeah, man, got running backs paid, but like Saquon don't get paid.
All right, hold on. Let me put it in a different frame. All right, because it's not like he didn't get paid, right? It's not like he didn't know that the running back market was getting depleted. It's not like you know what I mean he was completely unaware that his team might lowball him, right? His rookie contract was worth up to it was a 4-year deal for 31 million.
Right.
So my man's got a little bit more than 11 in the bank, right?
No. You got $30 million guy bills.
Okay, and like I said, he should have seen that his second contract was gonna come up, and he should have been prepared to be lowballed on his second contract. So your bills, that's your bill shouldn't be a $30 million guy bill. Your bill should be a hey, I'm gonna get lowballed on my second contract guy bill, right? So that's where he might have effed up, right? And that's one layer to this, right? But the other thing is if you it's your fault if you're not prepared and now you need to take this weak ass offer after you puffed your chest out, but you shouldn't have been puffing your chest out if you knew that you were going to need to take a weak ass offer. So the second thing is you were on that great rookie deal. They drafted you high. They know how talented you are, and your refusal to dig your feet in now makes it harder for the other guys. The only running backs that I see really trying to stick this thing out right now are Dalvin Cook and Josh Jacobs. And it's like B said, man, they need like a running back Illuminati to really put their foot down to get this thing done because the league is disrespecting the hell out of them. And the Players Association ain't going to do much because the CBA is going for what, another 5-6 years? So
what leverage do you have when you have no rings?
You have the leverage of Matt Breida is not going to make Daniel Jones look like the quarterback you wanted to re-sign. That's the leverage that you have.
Yeah, no, honestly, Dalvin Cook being a free agent made him have no leverage.
You know what blows my mind? You know what blows my mind the most about this whole thing with the running backs is Jerry Jones famously did this to Emmitt Smith, and Emmitt Smith set out for 2 games, and the Cowboys were ass. And what did he do? He gave Emmitt his bag. Saquon Barkley should have done the exact same thing. And I'm telling you, after 2, 3, 4 games, the Giants' offense would have been so bad they would have had no choice but to fold.
If this is a star on a Super Bowl caliber team, you got a little leverage, bro. But I've said this a long time ago. Saquon makes that team two wins better, maybe 3. And if those 3 wins only amount to 9 for the season, who cares, right? You asking me to invest $11 million into a 9-win team when I can invest less money, get a more talented or a talented player at a impactful position, pass rusher, receiver, cornerback, and draft the replacement. And if I lose, I get a higher draft pick. Like, I don't get it, bro. Like, and if I sit out by myself and somebody come in and say, shit, I play for 8 million.
But with that logic, then why re-sign anybody that comes up on a new contract?
I mean, people gotta play. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, somebody gotta play. You gotta fill roster spots. You still want to have the best talent available, but you don't want to overpay for anything, right? Like, and that's just real life. And what running backs are gonna sit and fight with Saquon?
So then, what's a fair contract for Saquon? Like, what would be overpaying for the MVP of your offense?
The market value. Niggas told me the market value on Lamar Jackson dictated how much he should get paid. Then when the market value dictates that Saquon should not get paid, now the market's crazy.
Okay, no,
I
the
can't
market
disagree with
value,
that, bro.
the
Can't disagree
market
with that.
value. So we were saying with that logic with Lamar was he should be as paid as the highest one. Derrick Henry ain't making 11 per year. He's making more than that. So where is Saquon's compensation to Derrick Henry?
Bro, you think the Giants want to pay somebody so they could beat the Titans?
That's a fair
All right,
point,
you
but
know what?
that's the GM's problem, though. That's not
bringing me,
Saquon's problem.
y'all bring me to my next solution, yo. My first solution was I said take the running back position completely off the salary cap, and I know that shit would solve it. I know that would solve it. Just economically, that's bound to solve the issue, but that's not. I think that's a little less realistic than my newest solution, bro. My newest solution is this, yo. Make the running back position a mandatory percentage of each team's cap. Like, let's just say, like, yo, mandatory, like, what is the cap? 300 million, yo. So mandatory, you have to spend 6% of that cap on the running back. So what's 300 million? 6% of that would be like what? I don't know. So we got some math majors in here.
18.
All right, boom. So now teams get to decide, yo. Do I want to spend all 18 million on a Saquon? Do I want to have a 6 million, a 6 million, and a 6 million, and have three running backs that can kind of all divvy it up? Like, yo, make that. I think that's my newest solution, yo. It's got to be a minimum percentage of the cap that goes to running backs, yo. They've done this in other sports before in different ways, yo. Like, for example, in the new NBA CBA, you have to spend a certain amount of the cap each year, right? They talk about that's a horrible idea. It's only a horrible idea if you don't want to get a running back paid, all right? I'm trying to figure out a way to get these guys paid, man. And you know what? Do you know what the problem is with this? There's going to be no good idea because this is the thing. A solution, like, for example, Robert Griffin offered a good solution, right? But his solution is asking every single player to take the running backs back. And just like logically, there's no need for every single. Only one position is getting shitted on. Like if I'm a kicker, I ain't about to change it for everybody, all right? Because we doing good right now as kickers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it doesn't make a whole bunch of sense. There's got to be a specific rule for this position, in my opinion. I think you make a certain percentage of the cap designated to running backs, 6%, 7%. Let's say it's 18, 20 million. Let's say it's, 16, 17 million. Now teams get to decide, all right, do I want the bell cow that's making 15 and a couple of scrubs making 1 and 2 mil, or do I want to divvy up my running back money? But something's got to give with the running backs, man.
No, I see what you're getting at. And that made me think that, all right, your salary could be your salary, but you should be able to get a certain number per touch, right? Every time I touch the ball, I get $8,000, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Something that
calling no play.
Maybe 80,000. Something where you got to incentivize it, or you got to figure out how to pay running backs because their value in the game of football has diminished. Not just the value on the market, bro. Your real life value in the game has diminished. Like, teams are winning without having star running backs. Teams aren't winning without star quarterbacks. Teams aren't winning without star defensive linemen.
Well, I don't know, bro. I ain't ready for that. I think y'all won. The 49ers did pretty good without a star quarterback. Brock Purdy's not a star, despite what some 49ers fans.
Yeah, I mean, if y'all would have got there, it would have been off the strength of the running.
Let's be honest. Let's just be honest.
Talking about a team that has a top 5 tackle, top 5 tight end, top 5.
Bro, it doesn't matter. That's about team building. Then, if you can build a team, you don't need a quarterback, and that's always been. I think that's always been the facts. Like, who's the last, bro? Okay, who was the last non-elite quarterback to win the Super Bowl?
The non-elite quarterback?
Yeah, the last quarterback that was not elite that won the Super Bowl.
Some would say Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
Yeah, some probably would say that.
yeah. So at the time, I don't think he was elite. And that's another perfect example. They ran that on the back of Marshawn Lynch, bro.
They also had #1 defense in the league, bro. Legion of Boom, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, so there's multiple ways to skin a cat, bro. The NFL is trying to make it a league where there's only one way to skin a cat.
Give the
You know what
ball.
I'm saying? Hey, good
Look,
point.
so
B.
one
That's
one
13 million. So we got to up that a little bit.
one last quick little point on the Saquon thing too. This man signed for the exact same contract that Josh Jacobs got on a plane and left Las Vegas for. And I want to ask you to this and be honest. Who would you rather have, Saquon Barkley or Josh Jacobs?
Oh, Saquon Barkley all day.
Josh Jacobs.
What?
It's a fair. I like Josh Jacobs a lot, so that's why I'm asking this wholeheartedly. Like,
I'm taking Saquon. I'm not even batting an eye at that.
This is purely eyeball test. Josh Jacobs ran like a man possessed season.
okay, so is Josh Jacobs basically from running like a man possessed last season? Should he get paid more than the 11 mil that Saquon just got? Like, what really is the market here?
You asking me as a fan, or you asking me as a GM?
I'm asking you, what would you do? You just said that you like Jacobs better as a player, eyeball test. So are you going to pay Josh Jacobs more than what Saquon just got?
If I'm the GM, Jimmy G as a quarterback, I might need a running game, but I'm probably not going to. I'm not going to allocate a large percentage of my cap to that position. I'm just not, bro. And that's just me.
I don't even think 15 to 18 million is crazy to give to a running back, bro. Y'all realize that Curtis Samuels is making more than Saquon Barkley right now?
I give Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley 15 million. And this is true for all the positions. But if I give him 15 million and he plays 7 games, now what?
Well, I mean, that's crazy because we got quarterbacks out here that get, 30 million and might play 7 games. So, I mean, now what in that situation too, though?
Drop off from QB1 to QB2.
The way we just disrespect running backs, bro, like, it's crazy.
Bro, we find new running backs every season because a starter down.
The drop off from wide receiver 1 to wide receiver 2 to wide receiver 3 is minimal, but we're not dogging wide receivers like that.
The drop off is minimal. You're right. The drop off is, bro. It's the drop off from wide receiver 1, 2, and 3 is minimal. You're absolutely right about that. But they catch passes from the quarterback. Like, this is a passing league now. I'm not even a guy that wants to watch somebody run the ball 28 times to win the game. So no, if my offense is predicated on pounding teams into the dust, nah, I'm gonna go the way of Snyder, man. They gonna get me out of here.
Yeah, I don't know if I would invest future in the running back if I'm a smart GM, but I would make the investment on a year-to-year basis, and I give Saquon more than $10 million, bro. It's got to be something, bro. It's got to be something like, I mean, I guess you could base it on the stats, you know what I'm saying? But then, like, there's also so many things that go into that, like how good was the O-line, how good was running back gets over 1,000 yards, they're guaranteed this minimum on it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Bro, my incentives are MVP. He got to be an MVP to hit his incentives. He got to catch 65 passes, rush for 1,300 yards, and get like 12 touchdowns. Bruh, come on now.
Bro, in order to get like 1,300 yards, he's gonna have to average like 4.5. You know what I'm saying? A touch. It's gonna be like 290 touches, 65 catches. Like,
but you know what that means? If he got 1,200 yards going into the last game, they're gonna give him like 4 carries. Like,
you know what? And Rome said this on the X app. This literally means next season we're gonna be like, bruh, the analytics say you only got 18 games left.
That's exactly what's gonna happen, bro. Like, as a Washington fan, bro, is what we did with Clinton Portis. Like, we ran that man into the ground. Like, he had like 2-3 good years, and it was done, bro. Like, we ran him into the ground.
He got paid for it though. All right.
Yeah,
Clinton got
and that's what I want to see with Saquon, bro. Like, at least get that man his bag.
The business of paying players, or you in the business of winning championships, and that's 2 very different things.
And this is my thing, and I've come on this show and said it before. We don't put enough pressure on GMs. Well, maybe we do on our show, but I think as a whole, sports GMs don't get their feet to the fire nearly enough, bro. Um, if you can't figure out how to win with some of these star players, some of these athletes that people like hold in this regard, like Saquon was like a freak athlete coming out. Like people talked about how crazy he was, how good he was going to be, and if you can't find a way to win with him, then I'm looking at you as a GM as a failure. Like it's not always on these players for not bringing championships, especially in the game of football when you need to be able to put a team together.
I don't know. As a quarterback, if my line can't block, I might have to just quick game, get the ball out quicker, and that could help the lineman. As a running back, when my line can't block, I'm dead in the water.
Unless you Barry Sanders.
But that's what I mean though. That goes onto your GM. Like you shouldn't draft a like example when the Cowboys got Ezekiel Elliott, right? They did that knowing that their O line was stacked. They did that knowing like, hey, we got a good runner. We're gonna run it with a strong O line. Meanwhile, the Giants had a trash O line for years, and Saquon got hurt.
They had for years, bro. And then and Saquon was running behind nothing, dog. And he was still putting up numbers. He was still, I don't know, man. I don't know, bro.
Didn't Jerry Jones say drafting Zeke was a mistake?
Jerry Jones says a lot, bro. I don't. Yeah,
he paid Zeke, bro. One thing about my man
Yeah,
Jerry Jones, you perform for Jerry, he gonna pay you, all right?
Look, man, all I can say is outside of maybe Marshawn Lynch, I can't think of a running back that's ran their team to a ring. You know what I'm saying? And I know they said
Marshall Faulk ran his team to a ring.
Bro, they had the greatest show on turf.
They did, bro. But look at Marshall Faulk's stats in all them years, bro. He ran and caught them to rings.
No, certainly. Marshall Faulk is great. They had a great team, a great offense, and he was a piece, sort of like Emmitt Smith when he was with Dallas, bro. They had a bunch of pieces.
Yeah, he another one. He ran that team to rings.
Yeah, but you got to have all the pieces, man. Like, if I don't have all the pieces, I'm not starting with running back.
Well, that's the thing, though. That's the thing, bro. And I think you make a good point right there, T. You got to have all the pieces, right? And I think the league is going to a place where, and then you look at a guy like Mahomes, you know what I'm saying? There's only one Mahomes, bro. Every team, I don't care if you got Herbert, if you got I don't care, bro. Lamar Jackson, I don't care, bro. They're not Mahomes, bro. There's only one guy that's really just winning it all, just being the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I don't need a great defense. I don't need a great receiving core. I don't need a great running back. Only guy that's like that is Mahomes, bro. But the league has positioned itself to make it look like all you need is a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? If all you needed was a quarterback, Kirk Cousins would have a lot more playoff victories.
That's a fact. But
it's just not the case, yo. And you know they trying to make it look like that, and it's to the running back's detriment, bro.
Kirk definitely hasn't had any weapons. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. I'm gonna ask both of y'all a question. If would you rather have Debo and Curtis Samuel or Saquon Barkley?
Hey, T, see, you took it to where I was going to go because I was going to say the most detrimental thing to the running back really, and this is why I think what Bryce said earlier about the Players Association is that they're not really going to help, is the most detrimental thing to the running back position is Debo Samuel. It is the Curtis Samuel type. You know what I mean? It's hey, not only can I line up on the outside and cook somebody, but you can put me in the backfield and I'll run it between the tackles. The guys that can play dual positions, because to me, that's where the league is going. To me, the league wants it to be, you got your QB and you got your big men that play on the line, and everybody else can play any position. Look at Kyle Pitts. He's a tight end, but he looks like a damn receiver. You know what I mean? You got multiple players, Antonio Gibson on the Commanders, who can play in more than one spot. Like Ayuk on the 49ers. Yeah, he's a receiver, but they use him on jets, sweeps, all kinds of things, bro. So it's becoming a very creative offensive league. Quarterbacks are running all the time now. That used to not be a thing. The pocket passer's damn near dead. So if you're playing offense and you can't do more than one thing, then you're almost useless to the team. So
it only takes one team, though, bro. It only takes one coach to go out to the Naval Academy and study them for 2 straight years. Bring that philosophy to the league. Try and tell you, bro. That's all it takes. In fact, it almost happened with good old Riverboat Ron. The Panthers ran Cam Newton, Jonathan Stewart, D'Angelo Williams. They ran that to a Super Bowl, bro. They ran that to a Super Bowl with a running back heavy scheme, dog.
Oh, they did.
And I'm telling you, it only gonna take one time. I remember last episode of Gas Sports for the Culture, man. I was talking about what the most unstoppable play was in last year's NFL season, and it was that damn quarterback sneak that the Eagles was running, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, bro, as long as football got two lines across from each other, two sets of linemen across from each other, bro, it can always become a physical game, yo. And I'm telling you, bro, the real correction in this market is just going to take that one coach to be daring enough to say, guess what, yo? This team right here, we going back to the old school, and nobody's
I
going to stop it.
I agree, bro. I'm a firm believer that when everybody's zigging, you got to zag, and everybody's pass heavy, which is cool, great. But in order to stop the pass heavy, you got to get a defense that's a little bit lighter and quicker. So you got to zag. You got to be the offense that gets big and pounds it on those defense. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta run the ball and play grimy football and play hardball as opposed to the passing style that everyone's transitioning to. So I think that will make its way back around, and the running backs will be a lot more valuable than they're being held as right now.
That ground and pound game is tough, right? And that's very high level Madden players can play that style of game, man. I played against guys that pass the ball 4 times, run the ball 50 times, and beat you. But I tell you what happens, bro. You beat a lot of teams, but the team that can get up 2 scores real fast, you beat. Like, you have no answer now. And the 2 scores might not be because the team better than you. You literally might have just fumbled. You fumbled it, they scooped it, scored, you kicked, you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, you punt, they take it to the house. Now what do you do?
Hey, the Commanders beat the Eagles last season on a throwaway. My man Heineke threw the ball away. That was the play of the game.
Hey, man. I mean, we'll see, but as it stands right now, man, you might want to teach a running back how to catch passes or throw a football, because if you got a young kid playing running back in like high school or college, bro, good luck. And I wish the best for you. I truly do, because that's a rough way to go right now.
Yeah, my son asked me about running back. I say receiver. So I want Saquon to get paid, but I wouldn't put my kids through that. That's crazy.
I'm with you, bro. It's a tough sledding to be a running back right now. But I truly do believe, bro, it only takes one. And you know what? Maybe it takes a Shohei Ohtani version of a running back. You know what I'm saying? Not only is he the most dominant D tackle, but he gets 100 yards a game at running back. Aaron Donald at running back is something crazy. I don't know what it takes, bro. But I really think it just takes one, dog. It just takes one coach brave enough, one team with scheming it up enough, and I guarantee you we'll see it. I guarantee you we'll see it unless the NFL tries to completely outlaw the position, outlaw the running game in total, and turn this into full-out flag football.
You got to figure out how to increase the running back shelf life for that to ever happen.
Yeah.
But the thing is, bro, I don't think it's a shelf life, dog. Like, the more I think, like,
with Todd Gurley, like, have a shelf life, bro. It's the reality of the situation.
I don't know, man, because running backs used to have them shelf lives, boy. That boy Emmitt Smith was on the Cardinals still cooking, all right?
Oh, man. Emmitt Smith on the Cardinals was different. Wow.
I'm just saying, bro, that man
That
was
was
on the
crazy.
Cardinals still getting it done, bro. I remember that. I watched that with my own eyes. And I'm not saying he was was the best back in the league, but, he went over there and still cooked.
Nah, yeah, man. But that's pretty much all we got on the slate for tonight, man. Unless y'all want to get anything else out there real quick.
No, I don't have too much to say, man. Get paid, man. Running backs, go get the bag, man.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be something that helps them out, though, man. If there's no intervention from the union, I think we could see the running back position totally phased out. Because to y'all's point, who gonna want to play it, bro? Who gonna want to play it if they can't get a bag to play? Nobody's playing it just for the love of the game anymore. Nobody's doing that no more, man.
I think it'll be real interesting when Debo hasn't gotten a new contract yet, right? I think it'll be interesting
I
when
think
his contract comes up.
Debo
And
got
how he did get one.
Debo did get paid,
Mm, I
and
need
now,
to.
like a receiver.
yeah, he got paid like a receiver. But now they gotta pay Bosa, and I said this last season. I think this year right now is Debo's last season as a 49er. They're gonna get that contract off the books.
How much was his extent? How long was his extension?
It was just like Terry's, pretty much.
Yeah.
Same James McLaurin, basically.
Oh nah, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like they kind of faked on him. Then I feel like those players that are doing that dual threat shit, bro. Like Le'Veon Bell, I know people don't mess with Le'Veon, but he had a point. Like he had a point to him. But yeah, we'll see how this thing plays out, man. It's the eve of training camp. A lot of teams just starting up this week. So it'll be a lot more football talk from the boys, man. We will definitely chop this up.
Yeah,
But like we always say before we get out of here, man, sports for the culture.
sports for the culture.